Hello everyone and welcome to Old Coins TV channel. If you love exploring the world of coins, their history, value, and rare discoveries, you've come to the right place. Here, we'll share exciting information about coins from around the world, from ancient treasures to modern currency. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to never miss our latest videos. The Washington Quarter Dollar 1983 with the P Mint mark, struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, is one of those coins that at first glance looks ordinary, but the deeper you go into its history, condition, and collector demand, the more fascinating, and potentially valuable, it becomes. The year 1983 stands out strongly in U.S. coin history because it falls into a unique era when no official U.S. mint sets were issued, meaning collectors did not have a reliable way to obtain high-quality examples directly from the mint. As a result, most 1983 P quarters entered circulation immediately, suffering wear, contact marks, and damage over time. Finding a very fine condition example today already puts this coin into a more desirable category, as many were worn down far beyond this level. The obverse features the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with sharp facial details still visible in very fine condition, including noticeable hair strands and a readable liberty, while the reverse eagle design retains feather definition that adds to its eye appeal. What makes this coin especially interesting is not just the design, but the low survival rate of well-preserved specimens, which has created strong demand among collectors completing date and mint sets of Washington quarters. In the numismatic market, the 1983 P Washington quarter has earned a reputation as a sleeper coin, one that many people overlook in pocket change, yet serious collectors actively search for. While circulated examples are common, coins in very fine, extremely fine, or higher grades, especially those free from heavy scratches or discoloration, are becoming increasingly scarce. This scarcity is amplified when the coin shows strong strikes, clean fields, and original luster traces, even in a circulated grade. The real excitement comes when collectors discover mint errors or varieties, such as off-center strikes, double die details, weaker missing clad layers, or broad strikes, which can dramatically increase value. In documented cases, error examples and exceptionally preserved coins have sold for hundreds of dollars, and in rare, high-grade or error scenarios, prices can climb into the thousands, making this coin far more than just a 25-cent piece. Auction records and collector forums consistently show rising interest in early 1980s quarters due to their unique production circumstances and the challenge they present to collectors. From an investment and historical perspective, the 1983 P Washington quarter represents a turning point in modern U.S. coinage. It reminds collectors of a time when economic pressures and minting decisions unintentionally created scarcity, turning everyday change into future collectibles. As more people search through old coin jars and bank rolls, the supply of quality examples continues to shrink, while demand steadily grows. This is why experienced collectors always recommend checking every 1983 quarter carefully, paying close attention to condition, mint mark placement, and any unusual characteristics. Whether you're a beginner discovering coins for the first time or an advanced collector hunting undervalued treasures, the Washington Quarter Dollar 1983 P in very fine condition holds a special place in American coin history, proof that even modern coins can carry hidden value, powerful stories, and the potential for life-changing finds. The Washington Quarter Dollar dated 1983 with the P Mint mark is often described by experienced numismatists as one of the most misunderstood modern U.S. coins, because while millions were struck, very few survived in collectible condition, and that reality has slowly transformed this quarter into a serious target for long-term collectors and investors. The absence of official mint sets in 1983 caused a chain reaction that still affects the coin market today, as collectors were forced to pull coins directly from circulation, resulting in widespread wear, bag marks, and surface damage on most surviving examples. A very fine condition 1983 P quarter stands out immediately because it preserves strong design clarity, readable inscriptions, and balanced wear that confirms authenticity and originality, qualities highly valued in the coin market. George Washington's profile remains bold, with visible cheek contours and defined hair detail, while the reverse eagle still shows feather separation and wing structure, features that disappear quickly on heavily circulated coins. What truly drives collector interest, however, is the challenge factor. Completing a Washington quarter set becomes noticeably harder when reaching 1983, and demand spikes because collectors compete for limited quality examples. Over time, this competition has pushed prices upward, especially for coins with clean surfaces, even coloration, and no major contact marks. When paired with mint-striking anomalies, such as weak strikes, doubled die elements, off-center impressions, or planchette errors, the value can rise dramatically, turning a simple quarter into a multi-$100 collectible, and in rare certified cases, even reaching the thousands of dollars at auction. The 1983 P quarter also represents a psychological shift in numismatics, where modern coins began proving that value isn't only about age or silver content, but about survival, demand, and condition rarity. As more collectors enter the hobby through roll hunting and estate discoveries, the supply of very fine and higher-grade examples continues to shrink, while interest continues to grow, creating a perfect environment for long-term appreciation. This is why knowledgeable collectors stress the importance of proper storage, professional grading, and detailed examination, because the difference between a common coin and a valuable one often comes down to small details most people overlook. In the broader story of American coinage, the 1983 P Washington quarter stands as a reminder that history doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it hides quietly in pocket change, waiting for the right eye to recognize its worth. When numismatic experts analyze the 1983 P Washington quarter, they often emphasize that its value story is not built on precious metal or ancient history, but on a rare combination of timing, survival rate, and collector behavior, which makes it one of the most studied modern quarters in circulation-era coinage. The early 1980s marked a period when most Americans treated coins purely as spending money, not collectibles, and this mindset caused massive attrition in quality, especially for quarters that were constantly used in vending machines, parking meters, and everyday transactions. As a result, locating a very fine 1983 P quarter today means finding a coin that avoided excessive circulation damage, retained strong lettering, and preserved the integrity of both obverse and reverse designs, an increasingly difficult task. In very fine condition, Washington's portrait still conveys depth and character, with visible separation between hair curls and cheek contours, while the reverse eagle shows wing detail that confirms moderate, honest wear rather than harsh abrasion. Collectors value this level of preservation because it represents a balance between affordability and rarity, making it a key entry point for serious set builders. Market interest intensifies further when coins exhibit exceptional eye appeal, such as even toning, clean rims, and minimal surface distractions, qualities that grading services reward with higher market confidence. Once certified, these quarters often attract competitive bidding, particularly when combined with unusual mint characteristics or subtle errors, and this is where values can escalate into the hundreds of dollars, with exceptional or error-related examples sometimes pushing into the thousands. The long-term appeal of the 1983 P quarter lies in its role as a modern rarity challenge, where millions were minted, yet comparatively few remain desirable, creating a steady upward pressure on demand. As new collectors enter the hobby through social media, YouTube education, and roll hunting trends, awareness of overlooked modern coins continues to expand, placing coins like the 1983 P Washington quarter into a new spotlight. This growing attention reinforces the idea that numismatic value is not fixed but evolves with knowledge, scarcity, and collector passion, turning what was once everyday pocket change into a meaningful historical artifact and, for some, a surprisingly powerful financial asset. What truly elevates the 1983 P Washington quarter from an ordinary circulation coin into a serious collector target is the way the modern coin market has evolved, especially through online auctions, third-party grading, and global collector exposure, all of which have reshaped how value is discovered and realized. In earlier decades, coins like the 1983p were ignored because they lacked silver content and were considered too new to matter, but as time passed, collectors began noticing a pattern. While mintages were high on paper, quality examples were quietly disappearing, worn down through decades of heavy circulation. A very fine specimen now represents a shrinking population of survivors that still display clear legends, solid rims, and balanced wear, all of which signal authenticity and preservation, two qualities modern buyers are willing to pay premiums for. In auction environments, especially when coins are professionally graded or visually appealing, bidding momentum can build quickly as collectors recognize the difficulty of upgrading their sets, pushing prices well beyond casual expectations. This phenomenon explains how certain 1983p quarters, particularly those with superior eye appeal or unusual mint characteristics, have crossed into the hundreds of dollars, and in rare, highly competitive situations involving errors or top-tier preservation, even into the thousands. The psychology behind these sales is rooted in scarcity awareness. Once collectors understand that replacing a high-quality example is difficult, hesitation disappears and competition takes over. The 1983p quarter also benefits from its position in the Washington series timeline, sitting at the crossroads between classic collecting and modern roll hunting, making it attractive to both veteran numismatists and new enthusiasts entering the hobby through YouTube and social media discovery. As educational content spreads and more people examine their change with informed eyes, coins once overlooked are being reevaluated, certified, and permanently removed from circulation, tightening supply even further. This ongoing cycle of discovery, grading, and demand is why knowledgeable collectors emphasize patience and careful inspection, because the difference between a face value coin and a valuable collectible often lies in subtle details most people never notice. In this way, the 1983p Washington quarter stands as a powerful example of how modern coins can gain historical weight over time, transforming everyday currency into a symbol of scarcity, knowledge, and opportunity hidden in plain sight. The Washington quarter dollar dated 1983 with the Philadelphia P. mint mark occupies a unique and increasingly respected position in modern American coin history, not because it contains silver or was minted centuries ago, but because it represents a perfect storm of circumstances that quietly created long-term scarcity in collectible condition. The year 1983 is legendary among numismatists because the U.S. Mint did not produce official mint sets, forcing collectors to rely entirely on circulation strikes, which were never intended to be preserved. As a result, the overwhelming majority of 1983p quarters were immediately exposed to heavy daily use: vending machines, parking meters, transit systems, and cash registers, causing rapid wear, rim damage, and surface marks. This makes the survival of a very fine condition example far more meaningful than many people realize, because it indicates a coin that escaped decades of abuse while still retaining clear design elements, readable inscriptions, and balanced wear patterns that confirm originality. In very fine grade, George Washington's portrait remains bold and dignified, with visible hair detail, defined facial contours, and a strong liberty, while the reverse eagle still shows recognizable feather separation and wing structure, features that are completely flattened on lower-grade coins. These details matter deeply to collectors, because they signal a coin that still tells its historical story clearly rather than being reduced to a worn token. As awareness of modern condition rarity has grown, the 1983p Washington quarter has steadily transitioned from overlooked pocket change to a recognized challenge coin within the Washington quarter series. Collectors building complete date and mint collections often discover that upgrading the 1983 slot is unexpectedly difficult, especially when searching for coins with clean fields, strong rims, and minimal distracting marks. This difficulty fuels competition, and competition drives value. While average circulated examples remain common, very fine and higher quality coins exist in far smaller numbers than mintage figures suggest, and this imbalance between supply and demand has created a market where prices continue to rise gradually but consistently. The excitement intensifies when a coin exhibits exceptional eye appeal, original toning, or unusual mint characteristics, and becomes even more dramatic when genuine mint errors are involved. Off-center strikes, doubled design elements, weaker missing clad layers, and broad strikes have all been documented in the 1983 issue, and these varieties can push values into the hundreds of dollars, with rare, well-documented, and certified examples sometimes achieving four-figure prices at auction. These results are not accidents, they reflect collector confidence, grading standards, and the growing recognition that modern coins can be just as historically important as older issues. From a long-term perspective, the 1983 P quarter symbolizes a shift in numismatics, where knowledge has become as valuable as age, and survival rate matters more than raw production numbers. As YouTube, social media, and online marketplaces educate new generations of collectors, more people are searching through old coin jars, inherited collections, and bank rolls, discovering that value often hides in plain sight. Each time a high-quality 1983 P quarter is professionally graded and permanently removed from circulation, the remaining supply becomes tighter, reinforcing its desirability and strengthening its position in the market. This is why experienced collectors stress patience, careful inspection, and proper storage, because the difference between a face-value coin and a valuable collectible can be subtle yet powerful. In the broader narrative of American coinage, the Washington quarter dollar 1983 P stands as a reminder that history does not always announce itself loudly, sometimes it waits quietly in everyday change, rewarding those who take the time to look closer, learn deeper, and recognize significance where others see only ordinary currency.